I'm called Dixon, Assistant Commissioner of Police for Ministry of Internal Affairs, Conflict and Warring and Allies. We are the one who invited you here. We have police from Kosovo. We have invited you to come and validate the research which we conducted here last year in June. So the information we picked from you, we now want to give it to you to say either it is true or not true. So in the interest of time, maybe we start with a prayer. Can we have anybody to help us lead in the prayer?
We need to thank you, Heavenly Father, for the price of life that you have given us. We need to thank you for this time. We need to thank you for the last night. We need to thank you for this workshop, Almighty Father. We commit ourselves into your hands. Send your angels from heaven to come and guard and guide us in this meeting, so that we start with you and we conclude with you, for the interest of peace, love, and togetherness. In the name of Almighty God, we have prayed.
Amen. Well done. Our pastor seems to know his job well. We should have thanked him for that. And now, I believe we have registered ourselves. You have the program with you. The next, we will have a brief remark from our principal researcher, Dr. Sufena, who welcome you from Australia. She is from Addis Ababa, and she came here to investigate some of the cases here with you.
Come and be with us so that we can share the knowledge we collected from here and dialogue with you. You may give us feedback and we validate the findings of our research. My name is Trufena Mukuna. I'm the Executive Director of Organization for Social Science Research in Eastern and Southern Africa. We are based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Our main mandate is research, capacity building, sharing the knowledge with the policy makers and other stakeholders for research uptake. We came here such a time last year to collect data, and our topic of investigation was youth-inclusive mechanisms in preventing and countering violent extremism in the IGAD region. We selected Kenya and Uganda as our case studies. And within the case studies, we selected other case studies. So in Uganda, we selected Mayuge, Kampala, Gulu, and Kitgum. We have collected data and we have come back to see the various stakeholders to validate this data before we release our working papers as research evidence papers. So we have worked closely with the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and we are very grateful to them. We are partnering with 3 other organizations. IDRC is the donor. We have C1 IGAD, which works closely with the Ministry of Internal Affairs Uganda, and they're the ones dealing with the policy makers, or they're our link to policy makers. Then we have PeaceNet. PeaceNet is a CBO based in Kenya, and it has a branch here in Uganda. The person who was in charge of it is Lina Zedriga. She opened the gates to the communities so that we could collect this data. So we have worked together from that time, and we shall still continue being together with all the stakeholders till we finish this project in 2020. I am very grateful to this community, particularly when we came, we were received very well. We were received by the office of the LC5. She was there also. And even we went up to the grassroots and met the LC1. And we were received by them all, and we had a very nice time. They facilitated the collection of the research together with other community leaders. I will not go into so much. I'll just say that maybe you hear a word, would like to know each other in the room, and thereafter I would like our partners, PeaceNet and also C1 IGAD, to say something about this research before we proceed. Kuna, from Australia. Maybe we start with you.
My name is Madam Patrick, Chairperson in Business Community Mayuge. Investigator for this research. I'm happy to see you. I was with the team before. Thank you.
Yeah, as I stated earlier, I'm Nixon from Conflict Early Warning and the Responsibility Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Good morning, everybody. All protocol is observed. I am Andrew. I'm Assistant Parish Priest at Cheban Catholic Parish. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Detective Assistant Superintendent of Police, Abuze Rashida. I'm the District CID Officer, Mayuge District. You're welcome.
AIP Nyegenye Stephen, District Community Liaison Officer, Mayuge.
Cadets Prime Siba Kenneth, OC Station Service, Mayuge, the DPC, Mayuge.
Bukos Ramadan, Chairperson of 6 Limanyo Sub-County.
I'm Cadet H. Peter. I'm from Bufulubi Farm Prison. I'm the Deputy OC there.
Detective Assistant Inspector of Police, Gabriel Alexander. I'm the District Crime Intelligence Officer.
Mira Abdallah, presenting the Chairman 23 Jabuz Island.
I am Tenya Muzami, Chairperson, Itoda, Mayuge.
My name is Kasacha Abdul Majid, the Chairman Muslim Preachers, Mayuge District, representing the district, the Mayuge District.
Yes, I'm called Ahumuza Walter, Kokoro Walter Zerank. I'm representing OC Ikulwe.
Honorable Mkwase Aris, Minister Health and Education in Mayuge Town Council, representing the Mayor, Mayuge Town Council.
Called Catherine Mugaza, the OC Child and Family Protection Unit, Mayuge District.
I am a teacher and I'm the chairperson of the Uganda National Teachers Union, Mayuge branch.
Nina Zedriga, and I am here part of the laborers. I am guided by him and also her. I represent PeaceNet. We will have a very small window of about 2 minutes in the interest of time to just say what is PeaceNet, and we are very excited that you are here.
Tebigwayo, Mrs. Bayran, I'm District Prisons Commander Mayuge.
Mayuge team leader for this research.
From Australia, Ethiopia, and knowledge and estimate.
To say that you are all welcome, those who are coming from outside Mayuge and Uganda, you are welcome to Uganda, you are welcome to Mayuge as a district. Chibo Ruth, the district vice chairperson. Thanks for coming.
Much for those introductions. At least we know who is in the room, and I'm very impressed with the composition of those who are present. Thank you for coming. Now I would like us to have to hear something from our partners. And therefore, I welcome Lina, who was the implementing partner on this particular project, to come and tell us something about PeaceNet and what she is doing right now.
It's a very exciting day for us to be back in Mayuge. It's an accountability landmark. I remember many of you that gave us your time last year, isn't it, Vice Chair?
Yes.
Yes, we did come to Mayuge, and as Doctor has already explained, my role was to ensure, as the liaison person in Uganda, we complied with the laws and obligations that govern research in Uganda. So I was able to work together and be on the ground, first to obtain permit from the Uganda National Council of Science and Technology. And before that, I also had to obtain a permit that which among others is given by TASO. When you deal with human persons, you must comply with those regulations. So we are very compliant with those regulations. And I'm excited that after our conversations in Mayuge, that professor, who is the lead principal investigator, is going to share the preliminary findings. Many of you kept calling, including the LC5 chairperson, Lina. You took our thoughts. We gave it to you in trust. You have not given us feedback. I told him, my son, I call him my son, we will be back. And I'm excited today we are back, and you are witnessing that. So, PeaceNet, in this consortium, in this organization that came together, 4 organizations that came together, we work together. The lead organization is Australia, represented at all times by a woman who is so passionate. She would have chosen to remain in Kampala. On all these occasions, Professor comes physically and is with us here in Mayuge. Doctor, I am so honored. So that is the level of commitment from Australia, you know? So, PeaceNet, I apologize, but bring you greetings, because we're in transition. Greetings from the executive director. He's still very new. He would have loved to be here. Sam was also with us here the last time. And now he has moved to greener pastures. So we have a new executive. He couldn't come. I am ably representing PeaceNet. PeaceNet is a consortium also of organizations in Kenya that came together in 1992 after the attack. People panicked and said, what do we do? So results are always better when we come together. And PeaceNet is honored to be on this research team. And for us, as PeaceNet, in Kenya, we have now extended to Uganda, having started the journey in 1992 by first providing humanitarian support, among others. We now cover the whole of Kenya. We've moved to Uganda. We're also moving beyond Uganda in the IGAD region. We have committed, and a lot of commitments, to sustain work on coalitions. Our niche is coalitions and networks. So we're excited to be here in Mayuge. In peace building, we would like to bring peace. We want to prevent violence. We want to prevent, violence, genocide, whatever, radicalization. And we focus towards moving at the Africa region level. Our program areas, as I conclude, are 4. 1 is conflict transformation. We're all affected and infected. I got that direct from Dr. Tufena. By conflict, violent conflict affects each one of us. It doesn't know whether you're a woman, you're a Catholic, you're a Muslim. It will affect you because you're a human being. So we need to come together as human beings to do that. We're all affected and infected. Capacity building in terms of programs. Improving community security programs. I had the community liaison person. Before my activism, I am a judicial officer. I'm a magistrate on sabbatical. So I hope one day I'll bounce back, maybe. Okay? So I'm a magistrate on sabbatical. I was also appointed actually the last batch of judges for the High Court, but I believe I am more needed at the grassroots level. So currently, I am the senior coordinator for a global summit that Uganda is going to host. It is called GAMAC 3, Global Action Against Mass Atrocities and Genocide. It will be in Munyonyo. Some of you will, I think, already invited. So I sit at the Ministry of Justice as the senior coordinator. Switzerland, headquartered in Geneva, is the chair for this global movement to prevent. So what we are doing is building in the current global trends of prevention. As I conclude, I stated that PeaceNet specifically, we carry out studies, periodic research in the region. We have that niche of looking at understanding violent extremism. What would drive me into hating you so much? I would tie myself and die with you. Why? So we need to understand that. Then particularly this research, when Professor will be giving us the preliminary findings, specifically targeting our youth. Whoever targets your children is targeting to eradicate your future. And that is something we must prevent at all costs. We give it our all. And I believe your presence here is a manifestation that we are all committed through this research to give it our all in terms of prevention in Mayuge district, and we feed into Uganda. And we hope people will be coming to learn from Mayuge how to prevent violence, how to engage our youth meaningfully. I want to also commit that he doesn't usually talk about it. Professor Sande, through this research, was able to engage with our youth. He provided first the football. How many of you have heard of the Osrea PCVE football, that FC, the pride of Mayuge? They are the winners of a certain league. Recently I was here, we were praying, Father, near your church. Hey! And our former DPC, Odoch, was actually their patron. So they are now engaged. Already we are doing the practical things. So that is the brief about PeaceNet. And we're excited that we have been welcomed to Mayuge. We're excited that this partnership is working excellently. And we want to say, as affected and infected, we want to be the people in the driving seat to reclaim a peaceful coexistence. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lena. You didn't tell us about your current position and what you're doing.
Thank you. You know, time. I'm a time-keeping person. Yes. Why am I so passionate? What am I doing right now? I have founded a small organization. It's called the Regional Associates for Community Initiatives. We have got some funding, and we are working on preventing and responding to sexual gender-based violence and early marriages. Do you have any of those too in Mayuge? You're okay. So we're working with faith-based organizations, the Muslim communities. We're working with the religious institutions because the survivors trust these institutions. So we have a center of excellence now in Atia. We are still piloting it, and we are targeting also to work with the refugee communities and the host communities. That is one area where I am now moving in my retirement. And the second is, of course, organizing this global summit on GAMAC 3. It's a global big-time summit. Some ex-presidents have even confirmed and stuff. So that is, I will give you my contact, and it goes on until June, July, because the summit ends in May, but we have post-engagement where we'll be coming to the African Union, we'll be coming to Osrea, because we, as Uganda, a lot of good things, by the way, come out of Uganda. We hosted the Africa Working Group on Global Action Against Mass Atrocities as Uganda National Committee. I'm the secretary. We produced a manual
of best practices for establishing and strengthening national mechanisms for prevention. I have the draft. Because of that, Africa and Uganda specifically is going to be hosting GAMAC 3, and I'm the senior coordinator at that. I am very humbled, and I will be able to share my contacts. And I'm a grandmother. I'm a war widow myself. I'm a grandmother. Yes. So we'll talk about the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lina, for those good contributions that you are doing for not only for the communities, but for the country and the continent and beyond. I now invite Mr. Nixon Olwa, who is representing the government, to tell us something about this project and their involvement.
RDC, you are most welcome. Last time we were in your office, I think welcome. We are delivering this report of the research conducted the other time, June last year. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Colin Nixon, Assistant Commissioner of Police, as I stated earlier. And I work at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I believe you know where our party was about. That is where our office is based. We are at the Department of National Focal Point, Small Arms and Light People, of which Conflict Early Warning and Early Response Unit is a sub-program under that department. This Conflict Early Warning and Early Response Unit was established in 2004, and it became as a result that the Uganda, being a member state of IGAD, IGAD comprising of currently now 7 member states. Hope you have heard about IGAD. Is there anybody from here who has heard about IGAD? Can you tell them what IGAD is?
IGAD is the it's an intergovernment authority, and that is related to these are countries that have come together in a fight for elimination of areas that have been affected in the desert. It's all about that.
Thank you very much. I think most of you have heard that our soldiers and our police officers have gone to Somalia. You have heard about AMISOM? Yes. The mandate emanated from IGAD. We started with IGAD being a regional body, bringing the 7 member states together: Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, South Sudan, and Sudan. Eritrea suspended itself for the time being. So this protocol brings these member states together to address the problem of development. Because the idea that if only Uganda is developing, South Sudan is not developing, or Kenya is also not developing, then obviously it will also affect Ugandan development. So in this, these 7 countries came together to see themselves develop as a bloc. So in this, there was a protocol signed in 2002 requiring each member state to establish a national focal point in their countries to coordinate the actions of conflict, early warning, and early response. And that's why conflict, early warning, and early response was placed under the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The reason being that the Ministry of Internal Affairs has the mandate to provide internal peace and law and order. So in this case, it was deemed necessary that the conflict, early warning, and early response, which contributes to the peace and harmonious staying be put under the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So that is why it is under the Ministry of Internal Affairs. We had started operating in 2004, and what do? We collect early warning information. This is information-led, early warning information from the public domain, open sources. We know the police has its intelligence angle, the DSO has also that one. Their information is covert. They don't just, it is submitted on the need to know. But this one here is for the public consumption. So this information, when it is collected, we inform of the intending conflict drivers. And in that aspect, this study of youth inclusive mechanism for preventing and countering violent extremism in IGAD region was well suited to be partnered with. Reasons being that the youth are now being radicalized and they are becoming violent. So some of these indicators in the early warning, we need them to help us prevent or even to respond to some of them which are already in place. That's why this study, we had to take active part in it. So in this case, the government is interested. And you have heard that extremism is now a new trend of crime coming about. Some of you have heard about Usafi Mosque, which some of the youth and women were rescued who were being indoctrinated and radicalized to do wrong things. So in this case, we decided to select this study last year when it was conceived. We agreed and selected only 3 areas to conduct this study. Because in the inception, we had to look at the whole Uganda. At the national level, we identified Mayuge. Because some factors, some indicators were showing that issues about radicalization and violence was in Mayuge. So we selected Mayuge. Another site was Kampala, which is now even being proved by the Usafi incident. Another site we took was Gulu and Kikum sector, looking at the South Sudan war and what have you, which I think some of the findings prove that's right. We did not have enough fun, otherwise we had also wanted to go to Kasese and Bundibuju in the western. So, and West Nile. Therefore, the study here, we limited it here. The principal researchers came and met people here, some individually, like the IDRC, we went to his office, the chairman LC5, we met him in his office, and then with the councillors, of which the invitation for this validation, I came here last Friday with Madam here. I directed the DPC to focus on some specific people. We gave the LC5 at least 6 slots to be in this. So because they contributed their information, so now this validation, they need to say either yes or add one, because new things come. So let me also say, as Ministry of Internal Affairs, we are in the process of developing a national strategy for prevention and countering violent extremism. Yesterday there was a regional consultation, I think at Uganda. Some of you could have participated. And at the same time, it was taking place in Uganda, another one was taking place in Masaka. So we are consulting the views of the people to come with a national strategy to address this issue. So this is now becoming a serious matter, and your contribution is required, because this extremism and violence affects all of us, and this disrupts the peace and development we already have in place. So with this, I think we would wish to invite the RDC to welcome us in the district. Thank you.
And breakfast is also ready.
Okay, you can decide either.
Protocol, she goes first.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will once again introduce myself. As I said, to those who are coming up from outside Uganda, you're welcome to Uganda. To those who are coming from outside Mayuge, you are welcome to Mayuge as a district. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chiwaru, the district vice chairperson of Mayuge district local government. Before I continue, one time, my last born, who is a boy, was 2.5 to 3 years. We hosted a friend from Kenya who was staying with us for a year. He was Henry. But whenever we could converse, this boy, of course, was nearby. He wanted also to converse and at least have an input in the conversation. But whenever we would say something, Henry would tell him, speak English, speak English. And to a certain extent, it hurt him so much, and he said, I'm now saying it verbatim. Nchina, onkoba lujungu, iwo oloja okogera lujungu changu, yogera ko luchoka tukumoja. Meaning that you are telling me always to speak English, and you think it is easy to speak English. If you want to know that it is not easy, speak the Lusoga and we hear you. If you think it is easy, why am I bringing this? We have a combination of participants here, whom I feel, and because I know they are at the grassroots, and may not be comfortable with this foreign language 100%, and yet we want them to get the message, take it back home. I think you have now understood this. So when you find me mixing here and there, that means I want them to get something also, so that they go back with it. Feel comfortable to those who are coming from outside Uganda and those who are coming from outside Mayuge, those who cannot understand the local language, please feel comfortable. But I will try as much as possible to make sure I mix so that we are all at the same pace. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome all of you, those who are here, especially my two sisters, because we had a good time when you came. I want to welcome you back. Surely we have been longing for this. We want to know, and we want to get the whole information about what is happening to our district and where exactly. Because we were ranked, you said in Uganda, you chose Mayuge, Kampala, Gulu, and Chitukum. The fact that we are among those where you did the research, it shows and it implies that we are in that racket, the suspected. So as a district, we are here to fight it. One man said that if it is to be, it is up to me. So if we are to fight, if we are to eradicate, if we are to bring to an end, then all of us here, especially those who are from within Mayuge, it is now us. It is us. Let's have our eyes and ears very open. You see, to the visitors, as a region, we fall into Busoga region. And we have our culture. A pure and proper Musoga will never be straight to the point. I'm repeating. A pure and proper Musoga will never be straight to the point. That's why we have that term, I thought. It is always within our communications. Trying to avoid to be straight to the point. That's why I'm calling upon all of us. Ekigambo eky'olusoga ekyokukozesa tuli kwogera ku buyeekera n'ekigambo ekitegeerekeka obulungi. Obuyeekera obuli mu nsi yaffe Uganda, obuyeekera obuli mu nsi editeetooloire, obuyeekera obuli mu disitulikiti yaffe ey'e Mayuge. Aye omusoga mwene tatereera bigambo. The reason as to why we use that term, because we want to be good throughout. But nobody can be good throughout. Especially when you are there to speak the truth. Of course, you get the negative side of it. Those who will resist what you have said, those who will oppose what you have said, should be there. So if you are to do things the right way, then you must expect that and stand straight. Ekitukobesa ngana nkobye nganti ndowooziza ngana nsoyidi tikwende bulungi nzira nagogana nesiba kuko bati ninze nakoki maama omwana waabe nze nzira mpalana yalubeerera tutya tuba tutera okukoba abasomi. Lwaki twogera ebigambo ebyo eriyo bye tuli kukweka? Aye nendo bakakasa nti bye tukweka ebyo bijja kukukosa, bijja kunkosa, bijja tukosa twena. The more we hide, you will be affected and infected, whether you want it or not, in one way or the other. So it's better we come out clearly. Why am I saying this? Eyinza okuba ng'eriyo bwe wasigaza lule, ng'eriyo bw'owulira lule, ng'eriyo bw'oyidi lule, bano bwe bayinza okukola research bwe bataafuna. Today is the time. If they missed certain information when they came, and maybe you need to get a chance of being interviewed, this is the day, this is the time to speak it out. There is a funny story. One day, one time, a rat entered a house, a beautiful one, which had members. Husband, wife, children, and other people. And after some time, they realized they had a rat with it. But the husband said, after all, my clothes are always in the box. Where will it get it? No way. So if you people want to eliminate the rat, it is up to you. Then the wife said, okay, I better go and buy a bigger box than his and also put mine. And she did the same, but the rat was still inside the house. Then the children were crying around and saying, but for us, we don't have money. We don't have the ability to buy our own boxes so that we keep our clothes safe. What shall we do? They were just at the mercy of the parents. But the parents ignored. One day, a daughter's dress was eaten up. She cried, and the mother said, that one dress also. Shut up. This lady had gone for a burial, and when she came back, she removed her busuti, the gomez, and put it somewhere and forgot it there. The rat came and ate it. The following morning, when she wanted to wash it, she found it, they had eaten, and she was, my new gomez. Moreover, it was very expensive. A lot of money spent. I put it on once, and it is damaged. Oh, what will I do? So the daughter was like, I think you are also feeling it. Now the husband, now the wife told the husband, can you please buy this rat so that we eliminate this rat? And the husband said, but I'm not yet affected and I don't think I will ever. The wife kept quiet and said, okay. So one time they were going for a party. And he brought out all his suits, picking what was best for him. And he forgot one suit outside. He came back very late, very tired. The following morning, that suit had also been eaten. And then he said, oh, my dear suit. It was until that time when the whole family got up and said, let come what may, we must chase this rat and kill it at all costs. So they all combined and they killed the rat. Are we waiting for that as a district? No, please. We better do it before it comes to that extent. Before it takes your son, before it takes your daughter, before it takes a nephew, before it takes a niece, let's come up, please, as a district, openly and soberly, and we speak it out and tell people that, please, your son is taking this road. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I've taken a long time, but it was worth it. Bana, tuveyo nga abasoga bwe tuli. Kikanuka noti n'omukazi azaala. Atuyanira mu izaaliro. Tukobera abantu amaki? Amazima. Mbeeta, mbeegayirire, tukobera abantu amazima, kuba amawulire tugayiri, batabane baife, bagala baife, baanina ife, baganda baife, bakojja, n'abali mu bintu bino. Twenda tuidi, aye tusirika mbo tutyampalana. Oida kutyampalana, idoniwe, yebananja naye. With those few remarks, I want to declare this meeting open. And at the same time, I think, but he will close. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you very much for your insightful way of expressing the message to reach the grassroots. Thank you very much. Now, we are here with the IGAD representative, who is also the PI of this project. I welcome Professor Sunday to come and say something about IGAD.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair and the RDC. I hope you still recognize my face.
Yes.
When we came to your offices. And everyone, you're most welcome. And I'm very happy that we are here today. We had the opportunity and the RDC of the DPC, Mr. Dennis Odoch, who actually took us around, and I can see his replacement here as well. So thank you so much. I wear 2-3 hats. I am a professor at the University of Addis Ababa. I'm teaching peace and security at the Institute for Peace and Security Studies. I've been doing that for 7 years. After leaving the United Kingdom, University of Birmingham, where I got my PhD in public policy, conflict, security, and development, specifically on post-war social recovery of communities who are displaced by war. At the moment, I've also picked up a position as a conflict analyst with the IGAD, which is a very big task, and I tend to travel quite a lot. There is not a new really, there are some initiatives which have been taking place within the IGAD region to tackle these issues of violent extremism, which has led to an establishment of a center, the IGAD Center of Excellence for Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism. So I was in Djibouti during the launch 2 weeks ago, and they have come up with a strategy document, which is new and is also on the IGAD website. And this strategy embraces quite a number of things. One of them is how to include youth. The other is gender. And there are so many others. Civil society, the police, the prisons, and so forth. So if you have access to internet, I would suggest you go to the IGAD website and you can download this strategy document. It's still only 2 weeks old. Now that said, I'm also the principal investigator for this research with Austria. Dr. Trofina and I met from the university and I accepted to take this work forward. So I'm here in these 3 capacities. I'm happy also I'm at home. I'm in Uganda. I'm from Kitgum. Although I live most of my lives outside. I grew up in Jinja. I went to Soga College, Mary. And when the government was overthrown in 1986, my education ended and we had to leave. So I feel Jinja is my home. Mayuge is my home. I used to travel this Iganga Road to Tororo, and I'm very much aware of how green and fertile this area is, and different tastes of mangoes. Yes. Thank you so much. Just one note here. Today, we are here in Mayuge. It's exactly 1 year. We were here in Mayuge last year on the 8th of May. Today is exactly 1 year. So, apologies for taking 1 year to come back to you, but we have something to present to you. And also, to make a very small note on this youth of Mayuge, where we noticed that actually this youth needs something. And we came up with an idea, and I told this youth, I said, what do you really need? I said, no, please, we are already organized, we need football, we lack boots, we don't have this. Then I went to Jinja. When we were traveling between Jinja and here, bought some balls, put them together, connected them with Dennis Odot, and they became very, very, promising boys. So now I'm sure they are really flourishing, and I think we mentioned this to your offices. And I was informed that they don't have football. The one we bought is broken. So for that matter, I brought 2 new balls with me here today. I want to see the boys. I would have loved to also see a representation of the youth in this room. Yes. So you need to call Joshua and tell him that we are around. We can give the balls to them. I will be giving presentations on other cases of other sample areas, also for you to see. It's not only Mayuge that we will present to you. I will present to you the Mayuge case and also present to you other cases from Gulu, Kampala, and a simulation of what is in Uganda in general. I don't want to go into the details of all this. I'm so grateful. I feel like Mayuge is my home. I just need to get a plot of land and put a small house. So when I come, you can welcome me and can have tea together. So thank you so much, and you're most welcome.
Thank you, Professor Sunday. Alemu usually is the bearer of good news, and he has some good news for us now.
Breakfast, tea, and the presentation will continue. So let's refresh ourselves first.
In fact, when you go from here,
yes.
There's a forest.
No, but they are coming.